Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Small Town Music. I am outside tonight because it's a really nice evening and I want it to be. So you get to see this lovely view of my downstairs patio, this beautiful beige rock. This hammock chair is kind of one of my favorite places to be, especially in the summertime. I like to read a book, or currently, now that it's nice outside, I like to take my kids out and they can play in our really nice open backyard, and also I can sit here and kind of relax a little bit. So, tonight I am specifically talking about surviving the end of the school year. It may not be nighttime when you're listening, but it is almost nighttime where I am. So, it is almost May. Tomorrow, for me, will be May. If your school ends about where mine does, then you know it's kind of a mad dash to the finish. You are probably gearing up for a concert soon if it hasn't already happened. If not a concert, potentially some kind of graduation, whether that's like full blown, high school graduation, or potentially I've seen like middle school graduation or fifth grade graduation or preschool. There's all kinds of different graduations that are happening, or just end of the year things that music teachers are asked to do usually. And I know that's a lot, and it can put a lot of pressure on you just in general trying to get stuff done at the end of the year, and then also adding on like, oh, by the way, can you just play this really complicated random piece of music at this event happening in 2 days? The answer is we'll figure it out. So, things that help me prepare. When I was a first year teacher, I was very thankful that I kind of got to see the very end of the year happen when I was student teaching. So I kind of knew what to expect. And especially for me, I was really lucky. I got to work in the school I student taught in, so I knew exactly what I was getting into. And it changes year to year. Like there's always something different or interesting or whatever. Um, so kind of anticipating that like students are going to get weird. They're going to push boundaries, they're going to push buttons. Laura always says this is like August, like May, August combined, because yeah, kids like forget every single rule that you have been talking about all year long, no matter how great the class is. They all of a sudden they start touching your things that they're not supposed to touch. They start poking each other and causing issues, and there's drama, and the weather's warmer, so they get antsy and they're like, well, can we just have class outside? And you've never had class outside because you're not really supposed to have class outside. And your experience as a teacher doesn't really facilitate a class outside. Um, and it gets hectic. So just keeping the rules, reminding them of the rules. I have a class right now that every time that we do class, I have to repeat several, very basic procedural things like standing up when we get ready to warm up our voices. I always do, especially in elementary, not as much for band, but I do my best for band to do stretching. But every elementary class, we do like a 2 minute, if that, stretching time to get everybody warmed up and ready to go. And so I've several times for, a certain class, I've had to, okay, sit down. Nope, we didn't do that correctly. Let's try it again. Everybody eyes on me. And stand, nope, we did not do that correctly. Like, come on, guys. This is the 165th day of school. I know that summer is coming, but you gotta remember, oh, no, we didn't do that correctly. And so it's just continuing to remind kids of what it is. Continue to document. I know it can be really easy, especially at the end of the year when you have lots of homework assignments and performances and other things happening. It can be really easy to take all that and put it aside and to not document important things that happen in class. So if you're my kind of rule of thumb, I think I've talked about this in discipline and classroom management episodes before, but that is to anytime a kid, it's like after the second time that I've had to tell a kid to stop doing something, then I write it up. And we have something called a classroom referral, which is where it doesn't go directly to the office, but it does get put in their document. So if they do get written up, then our assistant principal can see like every single instance of a classroom referral that this kid, they've been talking in class, they've been chewing gum when they're not supposed to, they've had their phone out, they've been disrespectful, they've made, whatever it may be. But just trying to document and stick to it. August, May is a time where I also find myself just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But it is, because then they're going to come in August, September, whenever your school starts, and they're gonna continue that behavior and think it's okay, continuing into the next school year. So just kind of watching out, really sticking to it for the kids' sake and also your sake, that like you have to have a safe, helpful classroom environment, and when that doesn't happen, then um, yeah, the learning does not happen. Try to find things that you look forward to. I saw someone's TikTok video just today that talked about like if you're the type of person that was really excited about planning your next semester classes, like in college. I know that was a really exciting time for me, like a puzzle piece. I got to know what was going to happen next and what my classes were and what my schedule was going to be. And I got excited about like if I had certain break times, or, there was a particular semester where I had like one easy class on a Friday morning. And that was really exciting that I didn't really have like that many Friday classes, and I could just like relax or catch up on homework or whatever on Fridays. And she talked about like she's planning, for the summertime, she's planning a hike every Sunday, or, a coffee date every Monday, whatever it may be. But I think, especially in summertime, I've seen a lot of teachers that like don't know what to do with themselves, like during this time where you've had an entire year of a jam packed, really tight schedule, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of free time. Or for me, like I'll have a couple weeks of free time, and then I have a camp, and then I have another week off, and then I have another camp that I'm doing, and then I have another couple weeks off, and then I have, like a family trip planned, or like a professional development trip. I have like a couple music camps and professional development and like a family trip planned. And so like there's weird weeks where I'm really involved in something, and then I'm really not involved in something. And so it's an interesting time um to do things. And I know there have been, not so much this summer because I have kids now, but before I had my kids, it was a lot of like, well, what do I do to feel like I'm accomplishing something? Like I don't want to just sit and do my job more every single day. Like I do plan my job, and I do plan on working at school to make my school year better. So I recommend, trying to find something that can help you keep a schedule, and help you look forward to summertime too. Because I know the beginning of May feels like the end will never come. Like it's right there, but it's not. Like it's still like I have a spring concert next Monday. I have a spring concert in a couple weeks. I have graduation. I have a field trip. I have another field trip. There's so many things, so it can feel like it's just never going to end, and you can get really burnt out this time of year. So I think trying to find things that help you look forward to the summertime are really helpful. I have, during school, to help me kind of stay on top of things, I've started just writing a to-do list, especially when I like to get to school a little bit early, so I just have time to get some stuff prepared in the morning. But I also, I find myself, I'll get to school and I like, there are so many things on my to-do list that I don't even know where to start. And so I call it, this is not a term that I came up with. I don't know who came up with this, but a brain dump, kind of like a everything that's making you crazy and you're thinking about, even if it's like on the last day of school you have to do this, it's still nice to put it on the list, to like, you have to get this done. um and so I called it my things to do list, or literally everything will burn down, which maybe is a little chaotic for you, but whatever you have to name it to make yourself feel better is fine. um So I just wrote everything, like from like things that I had to get done today to things that I have to get done in 3 weeks. Such as like grading a final project, or making, t-shirts for our upcoming concert, or getting a field trip form filled out, or whatever, or just reminding the custodians of what you need for your concert, or whatever. Literally, whatever you need to do, put it on the list. And I like to keep kind of a running tab, and then I'll try to split those items off into, like, okay, I have to get these three things done literally within the next 2 days. Otherwise, like, bad things are going to happen. We had the term, juggling, or it's not our term. It's not special to Bloom, to my school, or where I work, but um, juggling. You have all these balls that you're juggling, all these things, between concerts and grades, and keeping track of discipline, and keeping track of materials, and doing last minute assessments, and so what can be a rubber ball, what can you let drop, and what is a glass ball that if you drop it, it will shatter. So kind of keep that in mind, and find a way in a system to organize, like, what is rubber, what is metal that might get dented and look a little tarnished but will still be okay, and what is glass that will be irreparable, um, if you drop that ball. So um, I really like the to-do list, and even, like, put easy things on there so then you can cross them off and feel happy. After your concert is over, whether your final concert, go out and celebrate. Do something to celebrate. Even, I know for us in a small town, it's, the local Mexican restaurant. Um, Maybe go have dinner with your coworker or a friend, or whoever. Go celebrate, or, like, buy yourself takeout if you don't normally get a certain kind of takeout. Or go to the big town over and get a special treat. But do something to kind of, like, celebrate the fact that, like, yes, you did it. Even if you're kind of alone in your space, I will celebrate with you. I will eat that, Dairy Queen ice cream with you, or whatever. Just shoot me an email and say, hey, I did this concert and it's over, and we'll throw a little party for you here at Small Town Music. But celebrate. It's important. Yeah, try to keep everything together. Your office is probably my office and my band room, if you, or just your music classroom in general. If you don't have an office, it probably looks like a little bit of a tornado right now. That a tornado just possibly came through. Um, so my goal is to kind of keep it as my desk as organized as possible. And then as I go on, um, especially in the summertime, like, when I have more free time, when the concerts are over, when I have a planning period where I'm like, okay, there's nothing that's immediate that I have to get done right now, but I can file away this old music and kind of clear up this space in my office. Then do that. It is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I know for me, a clean office, it's important, but when I get to this point in the school year, it's gonna happen. When you have moments where you can sit down and just think through things, I know a lot of times my planning periods become me running around. Either I gotta do errands or drop stuff off, or I gotta make copies or whatever. But try to spend at least 10 minutes just really thinking through, like, the most important things. If you're really feeling overwhelmed with the days that you have left and the amount of stuff that you have to get done in those days, try to prioritize. And try to pick a time that's going to help you. So something, I kind of already mentioned it in the beginning, but I'll go back to our, like, something I like. Right now it's just sitting outside and trying to sit outside as much as possible. In the evenings, especially the winter time, I would put my kids to bed and then just sit in front of the TV for like 3 hours and go to bed later than I should have. But now that the weather's warm, it's really nice to just sit outside on when it's not raining, because it is pretty rainy right now where I am. But hey, good luck, everybody. Send us an email, smalltownmusicpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear good things happening. We want to hear things that are tough that you may need help with. We're always looking for new episode recommendations. You can find us on TikTok at Small Town Music, or I think Laura and Katie is also our name. You can find us on Instagram, small.townmusic, on YouTube, Small Town Music 21, on Spotify, Podcast, Apple Podcast, PodBean. But yeah, search Small Town Music and you will find us. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.